Three, two, one. Hey, everybody, this is Victor. I'm here with Patrick and Brian. We're going to be sharing their real estate journey. They're students of mine, and we're going to be talking about how they went from beginner to their first 42K net profit flip. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Good. Okay, well, good to hear. I appreciate you guys hopping on here just because it's like you guys have been in the program. It's in like 2 or 3 weeks. And like you already have your first deal under contract, and it's a great deal. I like it. I think it has a lot of potential. So you guys have, I just want to share your journey, like how you guys have gotten this far. It's awesome, and it's inspiring for people too. So that's why I wanted to share it. But before we get into like what's both of your guys' backgrounds?
Go ahead,
You can go first, Patrick.
Okay.
I'm well, I started, working at Old Navy, Home Depot, all those little spots, but ever since 16 years old, I wanted to do real estate because I actually tried to with a guru, but it ended up being the guru only did one deal, and he was just trying to make that extra income from education, right?
Yeah.
So I just pitched him. He could use me as a 16-year-old for marketing, and then he bought we went into business together, but like I told you, it didn't turn out well. So after that, I decided, okay, maybe I just need to get my education. So I went to, college and everything, became a dental hygienist. Did that for 4 years. Piled up some cash. I got my primary residence that I house hack now. I got 2 turnkey rentals. And then I'm just, trying to get that momentum, build up my knowledge, do different deals subject to this will be our first flip.
Yeah.
That I'm adding into, putting under my belt now, and I'll have that knowledge. And yeah, that's basically how I got started.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and I started in real estate about a year and a half ago. I started flipping mobile homes, so similar in the flipping aspect, but a lot different because it's a lot easier. With the mobile, with the market I'm in, South Florida. We get mobile homes for very cheap prices, $5 grand, $6 grand. And you just got to paint it up and it'll sell 15 grand, 14 grand. So it's very easy in terms of the flipping, but it's a pain in order to get the deals. Like I drove through more than 60, 70 mobile home parks all the way from Miami to Orlando. I drove through every single park looking for sale by owners, going on Craigslist and doing all of that. And it took maybe 6 months to get my first deal, but I got 3 deals in my first month. So it all piled up, but it made me realize that first month maybe 15 grand, 14 grand. And I put in 6 months of work to make 14 grand. And I was working a lot. I'm like, this isn't really worth the time, at least in my market. I'm not sure. I know other markets have more potential, but I'm like 6 months of my time to make 14 grand on this. And it's nice, but I was like, I got to get bigger deals. I got to get homes and all of that. So me and Patrick connected, and we had the same vision, very similar vision, wholesaling and purchasing homes for flips. And Patrick one day calls me, he's like, hey, we got to get mentored by this guy Victor. I'm like, I don't know who he is, but I'm in.
That's funny. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know who he is, but I'm in. So the next day we connected and we went through with it, and it was an awesome decision because I think it was less than 2 weeks, a week and a half later, we got under contract with this flip. That's making us 42 grand.
That's awesome.
And I could confidently say if we didn't connect with you, we would have seen the deal, we would have seen the numbers, but we're like, nah, it's not going to work. It's not, there's this resistance, and you have to, if you have someone you trust, someone who's gone through the experience and everything, and he's like, this is a good deal, don't let it slip. And, our third party to run the comps and everything like that, all of the comps made sense. So there's no reason we shouldn't go through with it. So now we're moving through with our first flip.
No, exciting. So I think the big thing is like confidence. Like, you get a deal.
Exactly.
If you've never done it before, you might have that hesitancy. And if it's a hot market, like you hesitate a day or a week and the deal's gone. So that confidence is really shown through. I want to touch on that more. But like before we met, like what were some of the things you guys struggled with? Because I know you guys wanted to get into flipping for some time. Like what were some of the things you struggled with?
I would say, as Brian probably would confirm, over analyzing a deal, right? And then you know, you analyze and then you're just thinking like, well, what if this surprise comes up and then totally wipes out that, you know, that spread that I had.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's just that constant like doubt that possibly something can really, really screw up. We're talking big money here. You know, this is not little small money, you know, stuff, you know, pulling out hard money, paying, you know, 16,000 down for that hard money, you know, doing the rehab, grabbing the contractors, you know, organizing this whole project, right? And it's just like those little, your brain is so powerful. Just the littlest doubt can just stop everything. It's just crazy. And I think that's what does it for me. That was what was, you know, kind of stopping me. But then, you know, I got with Brian here and, you know, I learned about you when we started talking, but we had a chit chat like months ago, right? And then we finally came back to that, you know, you saw my message and then you were asking me other questions. And then I was like, hey, Brian, you know, we should, you know, connect with Victor. He primarily does flips, right? So he, I think, will be an asset to us, you know, especially if we're, you know, trying to get a flip. And it also propelled us as far as accountability, you know, because you're wanting a student to make you proud, right? You're wanting to see some results from a student, right? So, you know, so you could show other students that it's actually, you know, you're doing a good job at what you're doing. And yeah, that just gave us, I think, the extra nudge, the extra push that we needed to get there. So
yeah, I like it, especially in y'all's case. Like this wasn't necessarily like your first deal, because like you did like the house hack, like you've done the mobile home stuff. It was more like, okay, how do we get more consistent? Like, how do we get to 6 figures? How do we, you know, turn this into a full-time thing, and like grow this into, you know, what a real business, like a real consistent business. So I really like that. So it's been going good so far. I'd love to hear about this deal. Like whatever you guys are comfortable sharing. Like if you want to share numbers, cool. If not, that's totally fine. But we'd love to hear about this deal. And yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So the deal's in Tennessee. So it's out of state for both Patrick and myself. And we came across a wholesaler that we personally know. He's in a mastermind that we're also in.
Yeah.
And he shot the deal over to the mastermind. And he's like, you know, first one that wants it gets it.
Nice.
And I saw it right when he shot the deal over. And like Patrick mentioned, he's a little bit more of a over analyzer, and I'm a little bit of an under analyzer. So I'm like, let's send the money right now. Like I'll wire it to his bank account, no hesitation. And Patrick's like, hold on. So you know, I ran the numbers, he ran the numbers. I'm like, you know, we got to move in on it. And like I said, I have to thank you again with that, because if it wasn't for you, you know, it's lack of knowledge we have, lack of experience, lack of confidence. We would see the numbers, we would see that it makes sense, but we would still be hesitant on it. But with that confidence, with the knowledge, with the experience, I'm like, there's no reason to be hesitant. You know, we got to get through it, and we're gonna see it's not that scary on the other side. So yeah, we're purchasing it for $115,000 from the wholesalers, and ARV is probably around, depending on the type of job we do, 215 to 230. You know, whether we're going all in or not. So there's a very nice spread. And yeah, the profit we're expecting is somewhere around, conservatively at the minimum, I'd say around 40, 42. Okay. But depending on how good of a job we do, we could get up to 50.
That'd be huge. Yeah, 50K would be life-changing for both of you guys.
Yeah.
And that puts you in a good space. And then that's the thing, like you guys have a huge profit buffer, even if things go a little bit wrong. I mean, you guys have, you know, it's a great deal here. And what do I want to say with that? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, and I just want to loop everyone in. So like you guys have it under contract, you're doing the inspection tomorrow. So this is kind of like projected profit. But like with us renting, like I think 4 people ran the numbers on this one.
Yeah.
You're all getting the same number. So we're pretty in line typically with those numbers at the end of the day. So that's projected profit, but that's still like, I'm confident on that one. Like even 20K would be life-changing. Like that's like, okay, cool, this is real, this works, let's do another one type of thing.
Exactly.
What were some of the things like you guys felt like you learned as we were working together?
I just love the fact that it's like you're our guide, right? We're going into this world we have kind of, you know, an understanding of, but we just don't know, right? What's over that hill, right? And then me and Brian are, going together, going into this new place that we haven't ventured into, but we have this guide like, hey, Victor, what do you do when this comes up, this obstacle comes up? And you just give us the answer, and then we like implement that answer into what we're doing so we can get over that obstacle. That's how I see you, and it's working well. You're an expert already in flips. You've done so many flips that you can just say, hey, this is what you do. Here's the call. There's my question. Okay, do this, and then we do it. So and then as we keep doing it more and more, it's just going to be like, okay, we know what to do now, like we're sprouting our wings, we're getting our wings right now. And yeah, eventually you'll probably see us fly away, and we'll be doing everything on our own, and you probably won't hear that much from us, but you're going to hear from me for the appreciation. I really appreciate everything that you're doing for us here. So, I'm ecstatic about this first deal. We got it in less than 2 weeks, and it's just like, we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing it, man. Yeah. So yeah,
it's happening. Yeah, for sure.
So something I learned, it comes with the structure of, having a mentor, is the simplicity. I wouldn't say it's easy, but the simplicity of, real estate. There's a lot of aspects that make it difficult mentally, in terms of lack of knowledge, not just fear of the unknown, So, but for example, we got the deal under contract, and Patrick called a hard money lender, told him the situation. They're like, okay, you're approved. And I was like, oh, it's that easy? I had no idea. Like I was always scared, like, what if a hard money lender doesn't lend to us? And since we got the ball rolling, it's just a cause. All right, here's your approval. And I was like, oh, I thought it was going to be a lot tougher than that,
Yeah. No, sometimes, like, what's the saying? Like, anyone can make anything complicated, but it takes someone experienced to make it simple. So I just try to make it as simple as possible for you guys. Because there's, just like you guys are saying, there's a million variables when it comes to flip or real estate. What about the school district? Crime areas, like what's the population of the city? Bedrooms, bathrooms, like what's the layout? Like there's like a million things you can look at, but you just want to keep it as simple as possible. Maybe a couple, like a small handful of variables, and like, okay, if those variables line up, let's do the deal. So that simplicity is key. So I'm glad you guys benefited from that. Along that same thread, like, would you guys recommend others work with me as well?
100%.
100%. 120%.
120%. I'll take that. Yeah. And then why
if we get a referral? If we get a referral fee.
Oh, there I can. Yeah. No worries. Awesome. No, I like it. Okay. And then, like, why should someone listening now, like, take action?
Well, from
time is money.
Yeah, that's true. You ain't getting any younger. Gotta do this stuff. Gotta get on top of it. Gotta live your life. Like, I wish I don't know when you started this whole thing, but if I wouldn't have probably been in my corporate job as long if I was to have, a guide like that, like this, So, but I don't know if I would have even went into corporate jobs. I would have just tried, because I probably could have borrowed money from my parents or said, I'm trying to do this. I got my guide, and I'm just going to start my real estate, journey from right here.
Wow.
But, it just didn't turn out like that. Sometimes your mistakes or lead you to the right path, and you'll eventually get there if you have the desire to really do that. And I've been wanting to do this since 16, but, I went through the college route and all that type of stuff, kind of like, the normal people like will do. But I got myself back out of it. So
yes,
I'm back into not being corporate anymore. And I'm ready to go. We got our first flip, and this is real estate full time now.
Yeah.
No going back. No going back. We burned all the ships. We burned all the ships. We're not going back.
And to add to that, it's kind of like what I mentioned. The sooner you start, the sooner you're going to see, again, not easy, but how simple it is. We have all these fears and all of that. And it goes with anything in life. I like to say I work out a lot, and, a lot of people are intimidated. It's like, just go to a gym, move around a little bit, and you're going to see the results, but you have to get moving or you're never going to see the results. So you don't want to wait on things that, bring you happiness, bring you the life you want to live.
No, exactly. And especially with with where you guys are at, like getting a deal in like a week and a half, excuse me, like that's pretty quick. So if you wait on this, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, like how many deals are you missing out on? And for
Yeah.
you guys, like we're building like a really cool, consistent machine to get deals. This is like the first of many, so y'all can definitely hit 6 figures in your first 12 months. So and you guys are on track for that. So very cool. Well, again, appreciate you guys doing this. This is really helpful, just to share your journey and like what you guys have been through and like all the progress you guys have made. Just exciting stuff. Anything else you guys want to share before we wrap up here?
Yeah,
You can go, Patrick. Okay, fine. I'll go. I have a comment in terms of like paying for a mentorship and everything. And a lot of people are, I guess you could say, short-sighted or step over dollars for pennies when it comes to that, because first you have to vouch, if it is a guy legit, or is it a 16-year or someone who tricked Patrick when he was 16,
Right.
Because if it's someone that knows his stuff, he's walk the walk, even if you paid, 10, 15, let's say 10 grand, 20 grand for a mentor, there's a very high chance you're going to make all that money back in your first flip just from the mistakes you're going to avoid. So Patrick and I knew we want to start doing flips. So there was no hesitation. Like, we have to get a mentor for it because we're going to save a lot of money. We're not losing money by paying for a mentor. We're going to not only save money, but we're going to learn to make a lot more money. So the return on investment is infinite, but a lot of people are a little scared of it at first.
Like it.
And the thing I had to say, I totally agree with Brian right there. And I also think, if somebody doesn't have that umph in them, I mean, like we were talking, me and Brian, I analyze stuff, I try to analyze it very, very well to basically mitigate any losses, and have that, calculated risk as low as possible. Right. And Brian's more of a like aim and shoot, like, let's go.
Yeah.
And it kind of propels me a little bit. It gives me that little push to get into it. Right. That maybe that mental block was kind of stopping me. So what I say to people, try to see if maybe you can partner with somebody, right? Maybe that partnership will, fill that void of fear because you got somebody else on board with the same goals, same everything, ready to go, right? That's one thing. Another thing, like how he said about, the money, paying into a mentor to be able to do this. Yeah, I think that's, you need to vet your mentors, because some mentors, they talk a lot, but, don't show a lot, right? Or they say that they're doing something, but they're not actually in the field doing it, on the field doing it, right? And you need to get those people that are actually doing it. They're in the field, they're doing what they say they're doing and what they're going to be teaching, right? That's another thing. And then I think it's amazing feeling to, get this flip. When me and Brian came together, within the span of like a couple days, we built a team already, and we're creating jobs. We're paying people from our company, right? That we're starting right now, and it's just like everything's moving so quickly. I love it, right? We got our company up and running. We employ 2 people. They're doing calls for us. We're getting leads. We're going through those leads. And then we're going to be employing contractors, maybe in a consistent basis where they're going to be working with us consistently on our team, right? We're going to be able to do that for somebody. Maybe that's struggling. Who knows if they're struggling getting work or whatever, but we're also doing that. And it's just, I love that feeling. I can't wait to be able to, because I have that mindset where I feel like a well-paid employee is a good employee, and I want to treat my employees good, or, so does Brian. And I want to also improve somebody's life that maybe doesn't have the opportunity that we have, right? And I just think that's an awesome feeling to have. And for anybody else that is trying to get in the game, will also have and get to experience.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. I like your last thought there, like with the community, because when you're successful in flipping, like you're not just helping yourself out. It's like you got to pay an inspector, you got to pay a contractor, you're paying like, maybe a lender. Like everyone benefits. Like when you renovate the house, it's a kind of crummy, outdated house. Suddenly it's a really nice house on the block. So you by like helping yourself, like you help others, and like you hire the VAs and the cold callers and that sort of thing. So it's really cool to see that effect too. Like you benefit everyone, which is a fun feeling.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, again, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for doing this, and thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.